Now, the latest ones, there are only about 2 or 3 from Bangladesh that are cited. And I'll tell you, in Bangladesh Journal of Pharmacology, Journal of Plant Taxonomy, again, the reasons why, because those are dealing with that subject that are not available anywhere else. I want to kind of tell you, on 13th of June, when I looked up the last time, if I look at Bangla All, which is Journal Online, there are 139 Bangladeshi journals listed in it. It has published over 17,000 articles in it. But let me, the first one alphabetically is a journal called Anwar Khan Modern Medical College Journal. And the last one is Update Dental College Journal. A total of 139. What I want to tell you, there are the newest journals that came in is Bangladesh Heart Journal, joined in June 13. Jahangirnagar Journal of Biological Science joined on May 18. Let me tell you what does it mean. It really means this. Look at the Scimago ranking of the world. And I list this institution. This is Center for Health and Population Research, Shahjalal University, Dhaka University, Buet, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Medical University, Jahangirnagar University, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Rajshahi University, North-South University, Khulna University Engineering and Technology, and Chittagong University. Track year by year from 2009. This is how the ranking game for the production of the people. Now remember, these numbers that you see, this is only a rank within Asia. Don't include the whole world, just within that. One good thing that you will know, the ranking, if it goes down over the years, that means they are improving. Did you get this? They are improving, if you follow the track. This improvement can happen faster if we dealt it effectively. So I look at this. This is cumulative 5 years, and the rank in total number of production, Dhaka University, Buet, Center for Health Population Research, Rajshahi University. But you will see if you look at this column, of all this coming, the most dominant number is for Center for Health and Population Research, which is really based around ICC DBRD. Now, many of these are health-related. Biosafety, radiations are important. And I just want to tell you this. There are 1,805 faculty in Dhaka University, produces about half a paper in every 5 years. It takes 11 faculty to produce in a year only 1 real article. Now, this is just a list from Pakistan, ranked order, compare that, and then if I look back, this is a list from India in the same list, and you will see we have a long time to catch up. So let me tell you where the diseases are. The journals from Bangladesh that are listed up, this is the rank, the world order, and it tells you we are producing, in many cases, online journal in Bangladesh means nothing. We are doing it to help our own promotion and tenure process. These are, many of them are not being done at the world level. Many work will never get cited. If they are not cited, they will not be patented. There will not be product. There will not be reputation. So with that being said, I just wonder, what about the journals? So there has to be no to university-based journal. Could you go to University of Texas, Dallas? There's a journal called University of Texas, Dallas Journal. There isn't one. I can bet on it. In Bangladesh, every university, about 10 to 15 of them. People will need to compete at the world level. And that's sustainably, consistently happening. I just want to list, for the sake of the time, a series that I've been involved with, a lot about close to 90 to 100 people from all over the world for over the last many years. And I have only data until 2013, which is the ICCIT series, that number of papers accepted, submitted. Those, if you look at the acceptance rate, we have been striving to get to a world level percentage. It is only coming if you can protect against plagiarism, original work, and others. It's a huge effort, but with that being said, I want to tell you a high percentage of work are plagiarized. Internet has made plagiarism easy. Many do not know what plagiarism is. There is no penalty for enforcement. One slide I had before my last slide, is that yet, over 20 years' time, because of so many people's involvement, starting last 2 years, we have brought in close to 6 conferences in Bangladesh under control. In other words, every work that comes will get indexed. Everyone checked against some plagiarism software. If there's any doubt, the papers are gone down the tube. And while saying that, I wanted to at least tell you, NABIC has an agenda in this. Not necessarily geared toward it, that NABIC has been focused and would like to introduce an ethics center, possibly in an institution. We came pretty close to North-South University, so we thought we have another proposal we are studying. I believe we got the proposals from another institution. We have money we have raised. We're going to invest it, hopefully, inshallah, if everything goes fine, so that we do control. In pedagogical terms, is ethics being included in curriculum? Can it lead to the right product? Can it build the right research? Can it produce the right thing? And this is going to come. Shodha Shastro kotha bolibe, mittha kotha bola mahapap, চুরি করা, কাটিং পেস্টিং, এভরিথিং ইজ সবই মহাপাপ। উনি যে জানতো এটা বলতো এখন, তখনই আগেই বলতো। But these issues have to be brought about. With that, and I know he's about to hit me out, this is my last slide. This game is a game of Sisyphus. I'm so convinced this game can be won. And thank you very much. If you win in Bangladesh in one university, success can be contagious. Thank you very much.
Which gained top recognition at the International Science Fair. He was selected as one of the 40 Intel Science Talent finalists in the nation to meet Barack Obama. At Duke University, Thabit was selected as the TDAX speaker alongside faculty members to discuss his work. So, without further delay, Thabit Pula.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you very much for having me here today. I appreciate everyone coming out on a beautiful Saturday morning to listen to all of us speak. The topic of my presentation is basically start small and think big. This has been basically the motto for a project that I've been working on for the past few years. And coincidentally, it actually began, I could say, kind of here in NABIC 5 years ago when when the convention was held in Dallas. This is actually a picture of me in 2011 with the doctor here, the president. I think you were also the president in 2011 as well. And at that time, we were all encouraged to give a presentation about, some topic that you're passionate about, something that you want to change, something, about basically anything that you're passionate about. And, the Bengali community that I grew up in, the adults all inspired us to, talk about things that you're passionate about. And just a year prior to 2011, when I was 14 years old, I visited Bangladesh and I met a boy named Omar. So Omar was actually a boy affected by a disease called thalassemia. I did not know about that when I first met him. He was a good friend of mine. But I later found out. And thalassemia is basically a disease in which your blood has less hemoglobin content than usual, which means that usually you're affected by anemia. And it's basically the only solution for Omar was that he had to get monthly blood transfusions. If he did not get blood transfusions every month, he would basically die. And his family was a very average income earning family. They could not afford easily this treatment every month for a blood transfusion. So at that time I kind of wondered, how can people like Omar, or people in general that need supplemental income to get their family moving for these unexpected expenses, how can they make the ends meet? So at NABIC, I gave a presentation in 2011 about basically a small data entry program type of job scheme where we take jobs from Amazon. There's an online marketplace called the Mechanical Turk. You can look it up online, where there's a lot of low-skilled data entry jobs that I felt people in Bangladesh could, with little training, be able to do and earn some supplemental income. So, and at NABIC, I got a lot of positive feedback, and everybody is very positive about it. So I was inspired the year after, in 2012, to actually try to see if I could make it work. So this is a picture of me working with other people in Bangladesh, training them some basic skills on how to use the marketplace, the Amazon Mechanical Turk marketplace. And it was actually successful. People were using this, they were earning money through the marketplace, and it was a small goal that I had, and it was coming true. However, that same year in 2012, I came across another bigger problem that I saw. And I was getting older. I was 16 years old when I made this trip to Bangladesh. I go to Bangladesh every 2 years. You hear me now? Yes. Okay. So, to visit my relatives and so on who live there. Anyways, at the age of 16, I became more cognizant of a problem in Bangladesh. I noticed people are having these small lesions on their skin around my grandparents' home in Kushtia. It turns out that this lesions on the skin, many of you are familiar with this issue, it's a symptom of arsenic water poisoning. In Bangladesh, over 45 to 50 million people, sometimes the numbers are even higher than that, they show, but at least that many people are affected by arsenic water poisoning. You might have seen those wells that are marked red when you visit Bangladesh. Those wells, some of them are marked by the government to show that there's arsenic in the water, but nothing much beyond that. They just mark them, say you cannot use them, and so on. Arsenic water poisoning is a very serious problem. Basically, one of the biggest health risks that come from arsenic water poisoning is cancer of various organ parts. And the skin lesions are just the beginning of that, the beginning of the symptom chain, essentially. Because of the sheer number of people affected by arsenic water poisoning in such a small area, the World Health Organization actually called this the largest mass poisoning in the world's history. Because if you think about it, about 50 million plus people affected by arsenic water poisoning. That's the population of a country. Actually, that's more than the population of Canada, which has 35 to 40 million people. So it's a lot of people in such a small area. So I then wondered, why? Why was this a problem in Bangladesh? If this is such a massive problem, I would imagine people have, done something about it by now, right? And it turns out that yes, people have done something about it. In Bangladesh, there was a filter that was developed called the sauna water filter. It was developed specifically to address the issue of arsenic water poisoning. But my next question was then, why wasn't this, why wasn't this making a big impact already? It's been on the market for many, many years. Why hasn't this been making an impact? And so I kind of looked into the issue, and I saw that there was a few things that needed to be taken into account that this product was not addressing. Because the target population are poor people. The price of the unit ranges from $60 to $70, depending on which model you buy. In addition, the sauna water filter is very bulky. It's also the maintenance of the filter is also very big after the first 1 to 2 years of usage. I read papers on which some of these sauna filters, after using them for about a year, they fall into disrepair and then they're used for clothes hangers. So this is the kind of solution, we need a more sustainable solution for the people in Bangladesh, especially the rural villagers. And also the final thing, which might not seem as important, but I think also it's kind of important. The filter itself did not look very well. If you're going to expect people to keep this in their house, you want to give them a product that also looks a bit better, not just 2 buckets and a wire frame. Maybe something a bit more elegant as well. So a cheaper solution, maybe a bit more elegant, and most importantly, it has to be cheap. So I decided, what could I do? So I did a little research. I looked into how the filter worked, how the sauna filter worked. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go into the technological aspect of the filter too much, but I will say that I focused on how to build a filter using local materials and local labor, and no patenting of the parts, open source technologies. So I read about the technology in the sauna filter. The main technology in the sauna filter is patented, by the way, but I understood how basically the filter worked. I understood how the arsenic removal mechanism worked. I also read about pathogen removal, like bacterial removal. I did a lot of research, read a lot of peer-reviewed papers. The sauna filter only removes arsenic. It does not remove pathogens from the water as much, which means that in places like Dhaka, where there's a lot of bacteria in the water, it's not very useful. And in many rural areas in Bangladesh where they don't use tube wells and they drink from surface water, it's not very useful there as well. So I wanted to figure out a filter that could both remove pathogens and arsenic affordably in one piece, using local labors and local materials. And it seemed like it was possible after I read through all this research, and I started designing my own filter. This is in 2012, in my kitchen, in my Dallas home, just about 5 minutes from here. I started to put together a prototype of a one-piece filter that made use of a resource in Bangladesh. I called it the yellow sands, but they're basically steelhead sand. Basically, it's a sand that's highly rich in iron content. There's a lot of other parts in the filter as well, but the main part is the sand that would remove the arsenic from the water, in addition to the other parts in the filter which would remove the bacteria as well.